Hi, I'm Ryan Smith with the IHSA. Today we're going to talk about the safe use of a quick cut saw or a concrete saw, many different names. First and foremost, we need to consider the PPE to be used when considering the use of this tool. Eye protection is going to be fundamental. There's lots of flying debris and dust generated based on the use of this tool, so it's important that when we choose safety glasses, we choose safety glasses that are gasketed. Really, we're looking at something like a goggle here with a strap to keep this sealed to our face to ensure that nothing could get around or underneath our eye protection. The safety glasses I'm currently wearing probably would not be sufficient because dust and debris could get underneath or over top of those safety glasses. These tools do have quite a bit of vibration associated with them as well. They have some anti-vibe built in, but it's always a good idea to consider the use of anti-vibe gloves. So here's a pair of anti-vibe gloves. You can see the way they're ribbed. This helps reduce vibration to the worker, so you're less likely to develop a condition as a result of that vibration over the career of your work. Now, when you're using a concrete saw, you're typically cutting through some kind of masonry or stone product. So we need to consider worker exposure to respirable crystalline silica. So we need to select respiratory protection suitable to the circumstances. Often a half-face silicone respirator with screw-in style cartridges is what's going to be required depending on worker exposure. If you don't know what's adequate, consult with a professional about the protective requirements that should be used to protect workers from inadequate exposure. Anytime you must use respiratory protection, the worker must be fit tested to that equipment and must perform a seal check every time they don it. Very important. A lot of people get fit testing and seal checks confused. It is a different application. These tools all operate above 85 decibels, especially the two-stroke variants, which is the most common. You can get electric tools, they still commonly operate in excess of 85 decibels, approaching somewhere exceeding 105. Hearing protection is mandatory when you use these tools. Ear muffs fit universally for most workers and offer fantastic protection. Ensure that there's a good fit. You can also be fit tested to hearing protection as well, and this is a strong recommendation. Now, ear muffs are fantastic. Another protective device would be ear plugs. Now, when using a concrete saw, we must inspect the tool before use. This is very important. We can't just pick it up and use it. Now, these tools are all equipped with a guard. This guard can be positioned forwards, backwards, depending on the type of cut you need to make. With the guard back like this could be suitable for a vertical cut down a wall, for example. If you're cutting into the ground, it should be repositioned to be tilted forward, so as much of the blade is covered by the guard when in use. These tools typically come in a right-handed configuration for use. You can buy some versions that can be flipped to a left-handed configuration so they can be used by left-handed users. Make sure your tool is capable of doing that if you intend to use it that way. Always consult your owner's manual, and bear in mind they will still typically come set up in the right-handed configuration. These tools in their two-stroke variant use mixed fuel, so make sure you're using oil mixed with the gasoline. Do not run straight gas through these tools. Many of them have an outlet for water. You can add water to this tool through the use of a standard garden hose or another adapter to help suppress dust to the worker. This is important. Make sure this line is clear and obstructed before use and that water flows easily. Now, to check the anti-vibe built into this tool, it's recommended that when you set it on the ground so that you can start it safely anyways, that you hold the tool steady by the handle and then grab the body to ensure that it moves freely, but it's not clunky, it's not too easy. There is resistance. It means the rubber bushings between the engine and the handle are in good condition. They offer resistance and are suppressing the vibration to the worker. Another important consideration before you use the tool or even after you start it up, ensure that the exhaust is not in poor condition. That could cause excessive noise exposure to the worker above and beyond what the owner's manual or manufacturer says the tool would otherwise emit, for example. Now, to safely start the tool, you want to start it with it on the ground. Do not drop start these tools. So you want to leave the tool on the ground, grab the handle firmly, and then reach over and pull the cord. Drop starting it can cause all kinds of hazards. It can cause the saw to kick back and then otherwise strike a worker. You need the tool firmly planted before use. When you first pick up the tool, you want to check for general damage. Let's look over the body of the saw and make sure there's no significant impact marks, no obvious signs of damage. You're looking the tool over in its entirety. There's no cracks, there's no impact marks, there's nothing that could otherwise obscure the safety of the tool. Workers often forget that the tool can, the blade can become loose through use, or if it wasn't secured properly to begin with. These blades are secured with a single nut in the front. You need to ensure that this is tight and that there's no movement, no play in the blade whatsoever. Now, there are different types of blades you can equip the tool with. This here has a steel blade. It gets a longer life in general, but you can get mesh blades. Mesh blades can be very good for application-specific use, but ensure that the workers know how to use that tool safely. If you equip this with a mesh blade and you rub the side of that blade in the cut at any point, that blade could explode under use. So make sure your workers are well aware of that, and that they're familiar with, yet again, the manufacturer's instructions on the use of that specific blade, for example. It's not a bad idea to give the blade a spin to ensure that it spins straight and true. It hasn't been bent, it hasn't been kinked by being thrown in the back of a pickup truck, for example, or whatever else. I'm Ryan Smith with the IHSA. Thank you for watching this video. Please check out our website at www.IHSA.ca, and please subscribe to our YouTube channel for more safety videos.